One-way traffic was predicted in this contest, wasn't it, between India and West Indies? The heavyweights faced off against the mighty Windies, who are not playing good cricket in any of the formats. I have Karthik with me, who is going to give you a thorough explanation of what happened in the first test, what could happen in the second test as well. Karthik, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Ahmedabad. First of all, Ahmedabad, a venue you've went so many times and witnessed it very closely. Do you think a very smaller scale of a opponent where you say West Indies, do you think that venue deserved a match, or you think that where you saw a prime example of India A versus Australia A getting featured, and when you had so many fans come out in numbers? First of all, on the venue,
Yeah, I think this is something that even I had tweeted about a couple of days back. That I
correct,
think for an opposition of the quality of West Indies, you can't play in a stadium as big as Ahmedabad. One, because they're not first of all a good quality team. I don't think they would even
correct,
compete with one of the Ranji teams, and unfortunately, that's
correct.
where they have come to. Now you saw that the crowds basically gave it a miss. One still doesn't know how big the crowds were, because even if the crowds were like
Exactly,
10, 15 or
exactly,
20,000, it's going to look empty when you're playing in Ahmedabad.
exactly. Yeah,
You're
exactly.
better off playing it in a tourist place like Dharamshala, which has a 15,000 audience, where maybe 10,000 people come. It's a sold like a holiday experience because it needs selling. I don't think people are going to queue up. There are very few people in the world who are going to fly halfway around the world to go watch West Indies bat. So, given that, and also given the fact that it's Garba time in Ahmedabad, nobody's going to turn up. It's people have their priorities very clear. So I think that was the only mistake that they did. But I think West Indies probably went in with that loser mindset, thinking the only chance they had was to make India bat fourth, because that's what they did at Gabba versus Australia, where it looked like Australia were winning. And just because they were batting fourth, that fourth innings,
Mm,
where the wicket, wore down, and you had Alzari Joseph, sprinting in, and they were able to make an effort. So I think West Indies feels that their only chance is to just mathematically make India bat fourth. But for that, you need to bat your first innings to last at least 80 overs, which they did against Australia in the recent series where they played at home, where I think one test match they had like a 30-run deficit, one test match they had a 10-run lead. So at least they were even on the first innings. So I thought West Indies are at Bangladesh 2005 level, where Bangladesh
exactly,
were
because
lucky.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have heard a stat when I was covering this test match saying that in the last 11 or 12 innings West Indies has played, they've never managed to surpass the second new ball.
That's just really sad that they just don't last. And by the way, it's not like it's a really bad stat, because England operated exactly with that stat. Because I
Yeah,
remember James Anderson making a comment during the Vizag Test match: whatever target you give, we'll chase it in 70, 80 overs. They,
correct.
they England also by baseball conventions don't last 80 overs, but
But
because it's
the
baseball,
difference comes in the runs.
difference comes in the runs. And I think West Indies have been very subpar, lasting 40. I think both innings together they didn't last 90 overs. So I
Exactly,
think
yeah.
it was an extremely abject surrender. They're saying Kotla is going to be runs. Let's see how it's going to pan out.
Exactly, and that's where I come to you when you talk about the Feroz Shah Kotla, now known as the Arun Jaitley Stadium. A little bit smaller side of the things. Runs are expected, isn't it?
That's what they say. The surface is like different from the surface that was used during the India Australia Test match. That was the last Test match at Kotla, and even there, it
Mhm.
wasn't a bad surface. If you're scoring runs at three and over, and you're lasting 80 overs, I think the scores were around 260, 270 for day one and day two. Day three, suddenly the wicket disintegrated, and you saw
Yep,
two different scores of 31. Like Rohit Sharma scored a 31 of 20, and
yep,
Pujara scored a 31 of 74. I think back then.
correct.
So, but yes, I think at least there, the wicket deteriorated only in the third day as such. But if you're going to have a fully runs, it's like a traditional test match surface that happens in India, where both teams may score a 400, 300, and you may still have the third innings of the test match played as late as day four. So I think it then boils down to a second innings shootout. But West Indies is not really a second innings side. Uh, so many times they've come close in the first innings when they played against Australia in the test series that was there at home. But yeah, they were just not able to compete on a track that's wearing out. So I still think it doesn't make a difference. This match might prolong, but I don't think at a skill level West Indies can really play.
You said West Indies cannot face a Ranji team of India, but that's where I come here. Jihan says that 8 sessions were played in the first test, all 8 won by India. There was not a single patch where West Indies showed any side kind of hope. And that's exactly where my next question is that when they picked a squad, I understand. I'm thinking Alzari Joseph and Shama Joseph got injured before the series started. But what was the thought process not picking somebody like a Gudakesh Moti, so good with red ball?
I think West Indies had their options in terms of who they wanted to go with respect to somebody like James Warrican. You're seeing all these left field decisions sometimes coming from stats or
Yeah.
some thought process. Like for example, Brendan McCullum, out of all the spinners that England had, out of nowhere he went and brought Shoaib Bashir because Shoaib Bashir was that tall spinner with a high release action, and he was just brought out of the blue. At least I can understand somebody like Rehan Ahmed, who's at least famous on the T20 circuit, not T20 or the 100 circuit. People have seen him play, but Shoaib Bashir came. I think James Warrican was one such uh, you know
Yeah.
left field call where they did not want to go with the familiarity. It's also that Gudakesh Moti, being a very good white ball bowler, has a very defensive line in T20, so
Yeah.
might ideally not be perceived. Unfortunately, sometimes white ball cricket adds a little bit of chaos to decision
Yeah.
making where you feel that a bowler is naturally defensive and may not last the rigors of test match cricket. We've seen that with Shikhar Dhawan taking on Rashid Khan in the 2018 test match.
Correct.
Rashid is such
Correct.
a good white ball bowler, but in the red ball format, he just wasn't able to, spraying his
Yeah.
line and
Yeah. Yeah.
length all over.
He was
So
drifting into
maybe
the
that was
patch
the
every
thought
single
process.
time.
So maybe that's a thought process that West Indies had with respect to Gudakesh Moti.
If Gian is giving me a right information, Gudakesh Moti is injured. That's good for West Indies. Otherwise, it's embarrassing of a choice not to go him. But off topic comes a question. Satwik comes out here, says that former England cricketer and captain Michael Atherton says that India and England should not be in the same group in an ICC events. Your thought process in that with regards to the politics and drama going on? I think things have settled down now.
The thing is, Mike Atherton doesn't write the check for world cricket. The economy for world cricket runs sometimes on India, Pakistan. Britishers should actually the era of Britishers ruling the world or having an opinion on everything has changed. As much as I respect Mike Atherton for his views, this one is basically something that is well left. I don't think it's worth commenting on that.
Absolutely, it's not worth commenting on it. Thank you for your comment, by the way. But your thoughts, as you said, Arun Jaitley Stadium. I'm hearing that it's going to be batting friendly of a surface, and as far as the stats is concerned, batting second gives you more victories, but not going to worry about because of the two opponents that are facing. Will India look to bat first and out bat West Indies if they win the toss?
I don't think bat first, bat second makes a difference because India, even Ahmedabad, right? It wasn't like bad surface to bat on. India made 448 for 5. That's like averaging about 87, 88 runs or close to 90 runs per batter. So India would play the same. It's like if you remember the Ahmedabad test of 2023 where India played
Mhm.
Australia, it was played on a
Correct.
similar slow, low,
That
slow
went on
wicket
to
where
day five, if I'm not mistaken.
went on to day five, and
Yeah.
it was a bad draw. So I think
Correct.
and I this in fact, since it's an India West Indies things, and I'm an old guy, I'm reminded of the Jimmy Adams, the Padams Test match of Nagpur in 1994, where it
Okay.
was like played on a very flat surface, and Jimmy Adams just padded his way throughout that series. He was called Padams, and that was how bad the series wickets were because he was just padding out. And I think even if you give a really flat wicket, I don't think West Indies have ever batted 80 overs. Not are there wickets
Correct.
in the
Yeah.
Caribbean. They don't have the habit. Just like Sri Lanka don't have the habit of trying to score 350. Unless see that they're going to be now suddenly under more pressure because this is a decent batting surface. So they're
Absolutely.
going to
Yeah.
think, oh my god, okay, I have to now actually prove my worth by staying in on the surface. So they're not going to play their shots or play true to their mind. So I think West Indies are again, it's the first time they're going to encounter a good batting surface. And yeah, the previous wicket was green for the first day, and then the wicket eased out. So it depends if they get the better batting conditions, and even if they, let's say, are bowling, and India is batting,
Mm.
and let's say the first hour or second hour has some amount of movement or carry. Even there, I don't think West Indies has the kind of fast bowling credentials. They were just bowling their spinners. I think their spinners bowled close to what 85 overs
Yeah.
in whatever in India batted. So when you are dependent only on debut, I mean, like spinners are making their debut, and even their fast bowlers, and none of their fast bowlers really rings a bell except for Jaden Seals, who used to play for two
Yeah.
K Olympic
Exactly. Yeah.
players. So I don't think it makes a difference whether they bat first or. Unfortunately, it's a Vivian Richards quote to Sunil Gavaskar saying it doesn't matter, man. Who whatever you bat, you're batting in the first over. So he said that to
Absolutely,
Sunil
absolutely.
Gavaskar.
Absolutely, but there comes a very important point. We have seen Chandra Paul come into side, John Campbell come to side. Craig Bathurst was one solid of an opener in the West Indies side because of his lack of form. But in such a series, especially away from home, he has to be. The experience does matter after all for West Indies. Jian says that. Your thoughts?
See, there's a point to which you can do this. Sri Lanka did the same with Dimuth Karunaratne. Whenever they had trouble, they just bring him back in ODIs or T20. I mean, in ODIs largely. But yes, as much as he's a very respected Test batsman, same with Craig Braithwaite. He's played for a very long time in the West Indies setup. But I think yeah, if you had someone like him, he could lead the way in at least holding one end up and
Mm,
trying to put a fight. Today, I don't think the current batting lineup, even though somebody like John Campbell has been involved in like double century stands,
correct.
for the opening wicket in West Indies, I think sometime back in Ireland or Amsterdam, where they played one
Okay.
of those games, the 2019 World Cup just before. But on flat wickets, I think someone like John Campbell is able to go play his shots. But on testing surfaces or surfaces that have little movement, their technique is not as advanced to survive the session. So I think
Mm,
West Indies have, I don't think they just have the necessary skill set. Even some of their batters like Brandon King or Roston Chase, though they bat much lower down and they bat, far
yeah,
higher in a white ball game. I don't think they have the. See, they're batting at the more easier end. Like they're batting, in the third hour after
correct.
the initial movement, and even they are not able to last more than 60, 70 balls. So I think they
Yeah.
are in a
They,
very
they,
sorry
they,
state.
they, they have solid batters in the middle order. You said of Brandon King, Roston Chase. They also have Shai Hope, who's a solid technique, has a solid technique and is a very good batter. But India batted 128 overs in their first test and three centuries we have witnessed. Which one was the most special according to you?
Well, given you might not have it coming any longer, I think Ravindra Jadeja's whole sword, this thing, because one doesn't know, right? Because last year I just innocently took a photo of the five of them and called it the Avengers or Pandavas, which is Ashwin, Bumrah, Virat, Rohit, and Jaddu,
Jadeja.
and three of them are gone. It's only Bumrah and Jaddu who are actually still remaining from that. So yeah, I'm just trying to be happy with whatever little I see of Jaddu in the Indian Test arena. He's an eyesore when it comes to watching him for CSK.
Correct.
Uh,
Yeah.
Not the T20 player, but unfortunately CSK keep persisting. But yes, as a Test batsman, he's a very very rare all rounder, and I just love watching Jaddu bat. So Jaddu century probably for me.
Okay, Rishabh Pant, the first keeper. Dhruv Jurel, the way he batted in the previous test. Does this fix your long-term two wicket keepers for any series in Test match cricket?
Interestingly, that's also something that I tweeted about, where I think that it's a very interesting development, where I think Dhruv Jurel wins his place in the side purely as a batter. And though it might be a kind of a left field choice, I think you have two very good batters in Dhruv Jurel or Washington Sundar who can bat at three. As much as Washington Sundar is now made to bat
Three.
at seven,
Okay.
yes, Washington Sundar at three, because Washington Sundar in the place in the top order for Tamil Nadu,
Yeah, he
and
plays
he's a,
definitely.
he's a very respected batter within the Tamil Nadu Ranji setup. And I think Washington Sundar is the kind of a person where if you give him bowling responsibilities, he's doing well. If you give him batting responsibilities, he's doing well. Each of the Test matches he's played, he's had a landmark contribution. He's scored a 50, or he's been part of a very. So I think somebody like Washington Sundar, as much as I like Sai Sudarshan, he needs to be given more opportunities. But I just think that
Okay.
if you are wanting to preserve the balance of your side, okay, Washington Sundar might be a good option. But Dhruv Jurel definitely wins his case. It could potentially, make that someone like Rishabh Pant, who may not be a better keeper than Dhruv Jurel in terms of what we saw, uh, Pant could focus on his batting, and that's how Sangakara. If you look at back
Hmm.
in this thing, Sangakara, if it was his first 46 Test matches, averaged 47. Then he started averaging 66. That's 19 runs per innings. 40 runs extra in a Test match that Sri Lanka unlocked by putting Prasanna Jayawardene as a wicket keeper.
Yeah.
So that was a thought process that I had when I tweeted it out to say that, hey, is there an opportunity here for India to maybe try this combination out where you play Dhruv Jurel and as well as Pant? But given that Rishabh Pant is probably not going to come before the South Africa series,
Yeah.
this game in your town, Kolkata. So before, I think we might see his comeback potentially in Kolkata. But till then, I think Dhruv Jurel has done well to
Absolutely.
warrant his place in the side.
100%. He has definitely done well, but you said about giving Sai Sudarshan a longer run. There's also another southpaw waiting in the corner for an opportunity. Devdutt Padikkal, do you think it's too early in this test match?
Well, India have too many tall, long, lanky left-handers who are just waiting for this thing. And I think again, Devdutt Padikkal or Sai Sudarshan both have age on their side, and but they will have to hold on to their chances. We gave 5 Test matches to someone like Karun Nair.
Karun Nair.
Unfortunately, he was found wanting against the movement. I was actually thinking Karun
Surely
Nair was
his
going to.
career is done and dusted from here.
Yeah, see, I don't think he's going to play for Vidarbha. He's going to play for Karnataka, and if he's playing for Karnataka, I don't think another 800-run series is he basically broke in with like 2 seasons of scoring
Yeah,
so many runs, and at
correct.
this age, I think and I think certain structural deficiencies cannot go away. If you're bowling a bouncer or if the movement is there, right? Some of Karun Nayar's shots at the age of 34, 35, you can't go work on it and then hope that somebody's going to see it, because you will not be tested with that kind of bowling
Correct.
in Ranji Trophy, unless you have sporting wickets for fast bowlers or you're playing all your home games at Lali and you're scoring runs there. So, given that that's not going to happen, I think Karun Nayar's career, a lid has been put on that. And I think the choice right now is that we have many people who are queuing in for that number 3 slot. But
Hmm.
I'd give Sai Sudarshan a chance because we've seen how he's performed,
Hmm.
and he needs to be given a slightly longer rope for us to judge him before we decide. Okay, let's also try and look at Devdutt Padikkal. I know Padikkal was tried out very famously in last year's Test opener
Hmm.
at the Optus Stadium, but I think just been very on and off. Yeah, I remember him suddenly being drafted in the Dharamshala Test match, scored a 50.
Correct.
I think he batted much lower then, but came after Rohit and I think Gill scored centuries, and he came
Hmm.
much after that. I had gone for the Test match. I remember Padikkal
So
playing there.
you're
So
saying that Padikkal may not get an opportunity in this test, but I really
I
want
don't
to ask you, what does somebody like an Abhimanyu Ishwaran need to do to get a test debut?
see. I think it's a unfortunately Abhimanyu Ishwaran enters an age where India's preferences. He enters an age where suddenly India feels that okay, if you want an opener, we want an attacking opener. They go with Rohit Sharma. 2019, out of nowhere, they said we have to give Rohit Sharma a chance. So, and because Rohit Sharma is a match winner in white ball, his Test career suddenly takes off in the 2019 home season where he scores a 254 versus South
Correct.
Africa. That if you, I think Abhimanyu Ishwaran was part of the squad in that particular series back in 2018, 2019, and then suddenly they decided, okay, we have KL Rahul as our opener, or if KL is gone, we will try to get Mayank Agarwal, and they just never went back to Abhimanyu Ishwaran.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then when he got the nod for the WTC final in 2023, and then the Australia England series, India are willing to experiment with somebody like Devdutt Padikkal in the top order. Okay, you say Abhimanyu Ishwan is not good to be an opener. Bat him at 3 because
Three.
you're anyway going. Yeah,
Yeah.
bat him at 3. Bat him in a way that you're still getting top order time out there.
Correct.
But I think the willingness, or there's something that Gautam Gambhir has seen, which is to suggest that okay, you might be your top guy in Ranji Trophy, but I one look at you and I don't think you're fit at the Test level. If that is there, the communication has to be clear. You can't carry somebody for like 3 Test series in the squad and then not give him a game. It's a very sorry way, and I think some way India doesn't communicate some of these decisions very well.
Exactly.
Australia takes the hard route. I remember Nathan McSweeney faced the toughest bowling, with the Jasprit Bumrah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and they made that change, Constance for
Yeah.
Nathan McSweeney, and I felt that man, Australia at least communicated much in advance, saying yes, we will decide after the Brisbane Test match. Okay, we've seen enough. I know it's a better batting surface in Melbourne than what we saw in the pink ball Test match, but they made that choice, and you could see the difference. The last 2 guys who came, which is Sam
Mhm.
Constance and Bew Webster, won them the
Yeah.
series. The last 2 Test matches they
Absolutely,
won on that.
absolutely, and I
So
absolutely
I
agree.
think
But you said that Team India, BCCI do not make the right communications. It was a shocking news we heard a few days ago. Though some say that for the long term it's a good one, some say that it should have been communicated better. Like just like we were discussing behind the scenes too. Rohit Sharma, did he deserve a better farewell in terms of one of the successful captains for India?
absolutely, and his average as a captain, batting average as a captain, is 5 runs more than what his peak was. What we thought his peak was when he scored those 170s and 230s.
200s,
Rohit
yeah.
Sharma, yeah, and so he's got more consistent, doesn't have variability in scores, doesn't score the big 150, but regularly he scores 50 runs, and that's like, and he's also winning you. The only game that he's
Nobody will
lost,
take that role and that risk with Rohit Sharma took in the 2023 World Cup.
and why would somebody do that? He's somebody who can bat long, score 150s, just like what
Exactly.
Virat Kohli could. He allowed Virat
Exactly.
Kohli to bat in his, his. I remember the joy that people had on Sundays and in the Kolkata game where Virat Kohli on his birthday scored 100 in Kolkata. He
Versus South
he played
Africa, yeah.
very he played very slowly, but it's Rohit Sharma 6 overs 70 runs that he scored, which actually set the game up for India. Apart from Mohammad Shami, that is.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think it's been a little unfortunate in the way communication has gone out through a bunch of random journalists that Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli may retire. And I think that's not fair. Not fair on the two most iconic players of the last 2 decades.
And the way things are going towards the World Cup, I certainly don't think that either of them will be making it to the World Cup squad for 2027. Do you?
Whether Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli make, I'm not sure Agarkar is going to be there. So as much as he's in the top, see, once a lot of things changes, right? So you as when you look at politics, you have to ask yourself, what are the variables here? So like nobody expected Rohit Sharma to be the captain when Virat was going very strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there's a change in the BCCI happened. Saurav Ganguly, got access to power. In Virat Kohli's era, there was the BCCI itself was not functioning properly because they were under
Correct.
probe. So he had
Correct.
a free hand. A lot of when things change at the top, immediately in the middle levels, things change. I think if they're going to play on flat wickets, Australia will give these 280, 290 type wickets. Not going to test Virat and Rohit. If they actually are able to score a lot of runs there, it may be seen on a series to series basis, as Gautam Gambhir called it, merit. Are you applying merit to somebody who's got an average of 63, 97 strike rate?
I simply
So
don't get it. Yeah.
so I think that way it's a little sad that I know you're preparing for the future, but you have Virat Kohli who's held you good for the last 15 years, and that's really not the way to go treat somebody who's like the white
And
ball
the
legend in bowling.
trend will continue that after Sachin Tendulkar, not a single player got a right farewell in Indian cricket. But you said a little bit earlier about Abhimanyu Ishwaran that Gautam Gambhir might have said or might have seen that, okay, you've got domestic runs, but I don't see you the way you should be in the Indian 11. What is the angle, or what way does Gautam Gambhir see someone like an Harshid Rana in all formats?
I think he's going to see Harshit Rana in terms of promise. I'm the only. I was having this discussion on the Long Rope Army group, trying to understand where is Harshit Rana basically coming in. One of the arguments that a guy called Aditya gave was why are you guys seeing Harshit Rana as a bowler compared to Harshdeep Singh? Why don't you see him as that all rounder? Because Gautam Gambhir has this big move where he wants to have a bulwark of all rounders in any white ball format,
A batter at
saying
number
that
8 or an all rounder
a
at number
batter,
8.
a batter at number 8, and it's a format that even India has had before with Rahul Dravid, where where you put somebody who neither bats neither bowls, but you hope that they will deliver in both, and that's how
Correct.
Shardul Thakur was also part of it. So I think Harshit Rana is exactly part of that kind of an experiment, where he is seen as a bowling all rounder. Because if you're going to play on a 280 wicket and somebody has to go for 50 runs, you might as well have this guy go for 50 runs and then come and score those 15 of 9 balls or 20 of 8 balls kind of knocks. That can be the only reasoning for Harshit Rana, or they're seeing something that we don't see.
Absolutely, and that's exactly a prime example. Ronaldo, Messi, and Gautam Gambhir says Rashford says Gian, and absolutely Gautam Gambhir kind of a thing. Hearing Rohit and Virat could retire in the New Zealand home series, that would be shocking. But Karthik says that he doesn't expect Ajit Agarkar to be there, part of the side, part of the selection committee anytime soon. But that would be good. But I don't know. But I think the problem starts from the head coach, because as we said, that he doesn't want somebody who has more power than him, and that's the reason why sudden retirements are happening. Started with Ashwin, then Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and so on. Thoughts on players to
See,
watch
I
out
think
for the second
see,
teams? Yes, you
there
can
is
go ahead.
there is a narrative to it, right? Even with Ravichandran Ashwin, I think if Ravichandran Ashwin was expecting that he should play all the 5 Test matches just because
No,
he's a
you
left-handed
were
bowler.
you were there in Australia, and what happened after the first is because he wanted to play the ping ball, if I'm not mistaken.
See, Ravichandran Ashwin wanted to play, but you should also understand that in the home series, where these are helpful conditions, New Zealand spinners were able to get wickets. Gautam Gambhir, out of the blue, bought Washington Sundar, who's not
Washington
bowled in
Sundar.
domestic cricket All of a sudden he came, and it was actually a good move. Washington Sundar played very well in the
Absolutely.
Pune test and bowled well in the Mumbai test too. So I think they had an inkling that okay, Washington Sundar can bat, and he did well in the Melbourne test. He and Nitish Reddy had like a good rear guard partnership for the sixth wicket. So the whole point was, I think this guy offers more value for this particular test match. And I think Ashwin felt that was, if I don't play in Melbourne and Sydney, okay, you guys don't play me in the other two test matches at Gabba and
Hmm.
all, but if I'm not going to be there for the test matches where spin is otherwise, I've
Correct.
previously bowled, then it sends down a message that I'm not wanted. And I think most cricketers who are above a certain age, call them legends, they will face this. And I think it is very unfair of him to expect that because he's a legend, he has to play five test matches. I think there has to be horses for courses. I think Washington Sundar was a very good choice, despite the fact that I know Australia have always gone with Nathan Lyon as their core spinner, because there's no other spinner who's challenged Nathan Lyon as much. Like they could be
Correct.
at odd
And
odd
away
working
from
length.
home, especially in Siena countries, we generally go with one spinner, either of Jadeja or Ashwin.
And again, it's because your top order is not performing. You want to protect the lower order by having batting
Correct.
insurance. So when you do that,
Correct.
Ashwin goes. So I think it's more the frustration with the fact that you're protecting a batter by asking a bowler to bat. Kuldeep doesn't get opportunities. So I think it's a multitude of factors. But Gautam Gambhir, as much as we blame him, there are strong narratives in terms of why he is wanting a certain choice. But I'm certainly not able to justify Harshit Rana yet.
Okay, so nobody can justify Harshitana. Question to Karthik: in T20s, who would you choose between Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head to be in your team? Wow.
We'll have to choose between them. I think, of
Yeah,
course, Travis Head
either
is,
of
is
them.
somebody who's a little more seasoned, batter. Is able to take a lot more pressure, big stage. But it's so nice to see somebody like Abhishek Sharma bat as freely as the way he's been doing. He's just been a revelation. So he's been able to push somebody like Jaiswal, who's been like the toast of
Correct.
2024.
Yeah.
Somebody like Jaiswal is not getting a place in the ODI in the white ball setup, basically. So I think he's doing very well for himself, and I'm just surprised that with this kind of an opening combination, Sunrisers had nowhere to go in 2025. But yes, I'd pick Travis Head.
You would pick Travis Head just because of his experiences, Karthik. But yes, players to watch out for have gone for out here for the second test. Let's get back to the cricket, red ball cricket. Yashish Jaiswal, Sai Sudarshan, and Kuldeep Yadav, according to me. It's hard to pick it three players from West Indies, but I've gone for the skipper, Justin Greaves, and Jamal Warrican. Any different choices from your end?
I think I will go with Roston Chase, Justin Greaves, and probably somebody like Shai Hope, who will be
Okay.
wanting to, because it's a good batting surface, he will be wanting to play his game. He's now transformed himself into a power hitter. He used to play for the Delhi Capitals, and
Mm,
he's now become a T20 player, changed his game. So the defensive Shai Hope, once upon a time, I think in ODIs, you'll be sure that Shai Hope will come and score an 80, 90 and will bat. The guy has the technique, but I think on a flatter wicket, I'm just trying to see if Shai Hope is able to, showcase his repertoire.
okay.
Outside of that, Justin Greaves seems to be their best batter and best bowler. If you're going to
Exactly.
go
Yeah.
by fantasy
Just like
points,
Gian mentioned about Jaden Seal. Jaden Seal is very good in red ball cricket, but did not impress me in the first test.
he didn't, and I think I saw that comment come up. But somebody like Jaden Seals, I think on helpful surfaces he's able to extract, and on non-helpful surfaces, right? It requires a Bumrah skill to come up and then bowl 40 overs and then be able to pick wickets at when the ball isn't doing much. They still need time. I know he was up
Yeah.
talking himself that Test cricket is something very important to him and he wants to be the best. It's good to
Yeah.
have aspirations, but you need to go through that journey where you've played 15, 20 test matches, and as a result you've picked up a lot more. So I think there's still, I don't think that their bowlers are going to I would go for some of their all-rounders who bat, someone like
Yeah.
Roston Chase or Justin Greaves.
Correct. Okay. And for India, your thoughts? Three players I've given.
I think it looks a fair this thing. I'm just trying to see if KL Rahul can increase his batting average, because
Average.
yeah, man, the guy's a disappointment. If he's going to have a batting average of 35, 36, I want KL Rahul, the batter, to come up, make use of
Does
his
he have the
opportunity.
best technique in this period in Indian cricket?
See, I think KL Rahul does. He's actually like an all-rounder, but people don't recognize him for it. Some of the catches he's taken for Lucknow, bad fielding at mid-off for a wicket-keeper in a non-traditional role as a fielder. It's amazing fielding. And secondly, for somebody as a wicket-keeper, the amount of influence he has in DRS. And
Actually,
even
I
as a
was
bat,
about to come here. Like this is plus point.
so KL Rahul is actually not really, given the due that he is. And I think in Test match cricket, if you look at his temperament, the guy is able to put his head down and bat. It's a skill not many young Indian batters have, because India have moved like somebody like Yashasvi Jaiswal or somebody even like Sai Sudarshan have an attacking game. Somebody like KL Rahul can completely shut gears, as we saw in the Optus Perth Test match, where I think India was just wanting to survive or bat the first session
Correct,
out,
correct, correct,
and
correct.
KL Rahul basically did that. So I think India have not used KL Rahul well. They suddenly says, put him as a number five batter, and when they want an opener and they have Abhimanyu Ishwaran, they say,
Wherever
okay, Abhimanyu,
you put him, he delivers, and
he
he's somebody who
delivers.
is so flexible. And that's the reason why you're saying you want to see the average. Jaden Seals played a few lovely slog sweeps at number 11 in the previous game, where they eventually got on to lose the game. But your thoughts on the first new ball burst? Siraj should be from one end. Who should be from the other? Is it Jasprit Bumrah? Or is it Prasidh Krishna? Or is it somebody else?
I think they should give a break to Jasprit Bumrah. He's played a Test match, and I think he
But
would
he's
ensure
not
that
part
they
of the
win.
ODI squad.
Still, the rigors of 5 day Test matches, the whole rigors of 5 day Test matches,
But it won't
he's
go
just
till
going to.
5 days.
It wouldn't, but again, the whole point is, do you want him to be part of the setup? I don't know how the Indians are seeing him, because I was there that day in the MCG when anything Rohit Sharma would just go to Jasprit Bumrah, and we were all fearing that the amount of just bowling he's doing, he will
Yeah.
break down, and that happened in Sydney. And India basically could have drawn the series, but unfortunately, it went to a 1-3 kind of a thing. So India has to be careful with how they manage Jasprit Bumrah. I I don't think you need Jasprit Bumrah for an opposition like this. It's a good
Okay.
opportunity for somebody like Prasidh Krishna to come, take that responsibility. Even if you get hit, try to figure out what is there to learn. It's like an opportunity like Jaden Seals for Prasidh Krishna. Prasidh Krishna, by the way, bowled very well in that Sydney Test match when there was some
Yeah, he
hair on his wicket.
bowled well in the Sydney Test match. He bowled well in at Oval 2 in the final Test match versus England. Break 11. I'm going with an unchanged 11. Do you see spot? You said about Prasidh Krishna in place of Bumrah. Do you see a spot for Akshar Patel too?
No, I don't think Akshar Patel right now gets in, because you have Ravindra Jadeja, and India might, unless and until the track, is going to be low and slow and there's turn. They just said there's runs on offer. So if they'll probably want to test Nitish Kumar Reddy, because he's not got much of an opportunity. So I think India will go with the same squad, just that Bumrah for Prasidh Krishna is a thought I have, keeping Indian cricket's future in mind, or Mumbai Indians' future in mind. So
Okay, so you're going for just one change. Bumrah out, Prasidh Krishna in. Similarly for the West Indies, I'm going with an unchanged as of now because there are not many choices to pick because of the two injuries they have gone for. Maybe any changes in the bowling department or at the top of the order because of the amount of players they have in their bench.
I think it's a largely unknown kind of a setup, right? So someone like Jomel Warikan or Carrie Peer, as much as they're left arm bowlers, slow left arm orthodox bowlers, but they're not of the same quality. Like for example, I remember Australia too had like a slow left arm orthodox bowler who tasted successes. One was this, Kerry O'Keefe
Kuneman,
in 2000, uh, Kuhneman in the 2023, and 2016 you had Kerry O'Keefe.
Steve O'Keefe, yeah.
So Steve O'Keefe, sorry. So you have these kind of players who come out of obscurity, come take a 5 wicket haul, or like Ajaz Patel, whenever he comes to India and Bombay, he takes wickets. So I think they've just gone with a formula thing. Okay, get two sloughs against India, but they're not of the same level and quality in terms of expertise. So I think it's just going to be another walk in the park. I was initially thinking of going to Kotla for the game, and then I thought I'll
Mm.
save my money. I'll go to Kolkata.
You'll come to Kolkata. You're most welcome for that. But what different can the West Indies top or the batter do? Because it's not that you have to survive the initial new ball burst and you will have quality spinners from both ends. Can they play a little bit of attacking cricket? If can we expect some shots from especially John Campbell?
I think they have to look at the track and bat as per the surface. I don't think they should have this whole pressure that, hey, I haven't batted 11 test matches, lasted 80 overs. So maybe if you bat boldly and back your instinct, and that's what England does. They have no memory of what happened in the last test match. You could have
Hmm.
like 11 failures, but then they come back strongly, which is where your character as a side comes through. West Indies don't have that identity yet. They're searching for that identity. So if Darren Sammy can instill some identity overnight, and they want to put a performance on. You never know. West Indies sometimes get inspired. You saw that game. they were losing that game until Shamar
Correct.
Joseph came and took those wickets. So I think the first thing they'll have to ensure is they bat 80 overs and are in a position to compete on day three. Because by the time day two happens, the game, it's just about when is the game ending.
When match
So
is
I think
getting
that
over, yeah.
yeah, I'm just hoping they are able to, if they're bad, because their best chance is to bat first, put scoreboard pressure. Let's say it's a very normal batting wicket. If they're able to score, let's say 300 for seven or something like that, India still has to get those 300 runs. And God forbid some collapse happens, like it happened versus England in the Hyderabad Test match,
Yeah,
where England, India was very well set. I thought the match was going to end in day three. Then Ollie
hmm,
Pope comes out of nowhere, scores a
correct.
196, and India lose that Test match. So I think that's the, and incidentally, that's the same day Australia lost to West Indies, and Shamar Joseph, produced
Yeah,
that all.
yeah.
So I think that's their best chance in a surface that has some level of batting nose in it. So that's all I can hope for with West Indies.
Anderson Phillips says Gian in the 11. Plenty of options you can choose in the top order, to be honest, Gian, in place of whom you can go for. Final question, a bold prediction. How many days this test match will last?
Because it's a batting wicket, if West Indies bat first and they score runs, it'll go to 4 days. If India bat first, it's 3 days because they will succumb to the scoreboard pressure. India will again score like 600 for three in 150 overs, batting at four an over, and then it's just a matter of getting Jadeja to bowl line and length, and then you'll just take wickets. So uh, I think West Indies might succumb if India bat first. Somebody says hi,
Okay.
guys.
Hi, Ben. Thank you so much for that. That means a lot. Welcome to the channel. But that's all we have. Unfortunately, Ben, you're slightly late. You can go again and watch the entire video as it was a wonderful discussion with Karthik. You said 3 days if India bat first, 4 days if West Indies bat well in their first innings. Thanks a lot, Karthik. Thanks to all the viewers who are watching this video. That's all we have. Second test at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. Expecting runs, and that's what the pitch report comes out all of a sudden, few days before the test match. Don't forget to subscribe to Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much, and bye bye.
Thank you.